Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you guys how to fix some curb rash on your wheels like this. These are my wheels actually. It has some pretty nice curb rash going on around here. And get them all nice and painted and make them look real nice and good. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do, clean them up. Can't paint nothing if it's dirty, so we want to make sure we clean the inside, the outside real good. Once everything's all cleaned up, we're gonna start getting ready to fix all this curb rash. Let's get started. Now I'm gonna be using some Meguiar's wheel cleaner, wheel and tire cleaner. Now you can use basically any cleaner, it doesn't have to be nothing special. You just want to make sure it's not dirty and it doesn't have no grit or grime on it, so that when you apply the paint, it sticks on there real good. So let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna start by moving my wheels over to the grass. I'm actually gonna start on the inside of my wheels, so that way when I flip them around, I won't be flipping them on the side that I'm gonna paint. So what I'm actually gonna do right now, I'm gonna clean them up today and let them dry overnight. That way they're nice and dry tomorrow morning. Let's wet them up first. Spray them down. Don't let the stuff sit there too long because it can damage the wheel. Good enough. A nice gray Scotch-Brite to scrub them with. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, it's cleaning up pretty good. Looking like I'm basically gonna be cleaning it with this gray Scotch-Brite, just because the gray Scotch-Brite is basically gonna scratch it up for me at the same time that it's cleaning it. That way I kill two birds with one stone, and it's basically ready for paint at that point. So yeah, I'm gonna use my gray Scotch-Brite and then get this ready. Wet the wheels down before I spray them with the cleaner. And clean these up real quick. Start cleaning them. Now I am gonna sand them when I do get ready to paint them. They're gonna get sanded, but scotching them before you sand them will help the sandpaper grip it a little bit better. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna hit it with some 600 now that they're all nice and clean. After scuffing it, I really don't have to do too much. I'm just gonna go over it with the 600 a little bit, just to make sure I got a nice scratched up surface to get my paint on. And technically the Scotch-Brite is sanding it. I'm just gonna hit it with the 600 so that it has a nice grip when I put the paint on there. So that's it. This is ready. I'm gonna do the rest of them and we'll come back to it after that. So I'm mostly gonna focus in on this wheel on the video because this is the wheel that has the most curb rash on it. So we're gonna focus in on this one, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start hitting it some 180 grit and sanding it down smooth, and then I'm gonna apply a little bit of metal glaze to this, and then it should be good to put some primer on it. So let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna start with this area. This is the roughest area. I'm just gonna sand it down. You wanna smoothen off the roughness in the curb rash before you go applying any metal glaze or putty to it. So that's why I'm hitting it with this. All right, that looks pretty good. There's a really big one right here. I have to cut that little section off without trying to cut off any. Oh, it came off. It chipped right off. I guess because I'm sanding it, it chipped right off. So I want to smoothen out that edge and before I apply my metal glaze. Now I've already finished sanding all my wheels, and the areas that have road rash are basically all ready for my metal glaze. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape up in here because my road rash is basically close to the edge of the tires and I don't want to make a mess. I'm going to put a little bit of tape in the areas where I'm going to put the metal glaze just for I won't make a mess. All right guys, I got my metal glaze mix right here. So I'm going to mix it and apply a thin coat where the bad road rash is, and then good to go. And I'm gonna do this all to all the wheels where I have the bad road rash around, and any other spots that might need a little filling. Now this has a hardener, so once you mix it, try to apply it as quick as possible without being sloppy, because it will dry on you and then you won't get to do all the wheels. You're gonna have to mix some more up, and that's basically a waste of materials. So try to get it done as much as possible. Mix it well and then apply it to your wheels. A thin coat will do. And you see why I basically put that tape on there, because if not, it might get into the wheel. So I'm gonna keep going to the next area. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to mix up a little bit more, because this definitely does dry fast, especially if it's hot outside. It's gonna dry fast. All right guys, now everything's all dry, the glaze is all dry. Now I'm gonna use the same 180 grit paper to sand down the glaze smooth, and then I'm ready for primer. So here you go. See that stuff? It's all filled in now with the putty, and now it's gonna be smooth. When we primer it and paint it, we're gonna have a nice smooth area where all that road rash is. So I went ahead and sanded the rest of the areas all around the rim, so everything is basically sanded down right here. It got into those areas on the inside of the rim, like over here. It got into this edge where it was a little rough, so I was able to round it off and smoothen it out right here. So that's why I say the putty's probably gonna be the best bet to do this, because it's a body filler and it fills all this stuff in really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand the rest of the wheels and then get these ready for primer. I got everything ready now, basically get ready for primer at this point. And I just wanted to share with you a tip that I actually found by watching a video where a lot of guys are using these paint cards to basically slide them in to this area right here, and it covers up the tire. So you put a bunch of these in here like this, and it's like a little hack so that you don't really have to go through too much work of masking off your tire and wheel for paint. Now this will definitely work if you are not the biggest fan of masking off your stuff, but since I don't mind masking, I'm just gonna go ahead and mask off these wheels. But you guys can use this method and you don't have to worry about doing too much tape up work. Now I don't want to get paint on the inside of my wheels, because I think that's not gonna look professional, and I'm not really gonna paint the inside. So I'm gonna be masking off the inside, and then I'm just gonna mask off the whole wheel on the outside, just because that's my preferred way of doing it. But if you guys are not big fans of masking things off, you can use this method with these cards. Just slide them in to the slots right here where the wheel is, and just go all around each wheel and do that. But I'm going to use the way I like to mask off my wheels. So let's get to work. So this is the primer I'm going to be using. This is Rust-Oleum Automotive Primer, 2-in-1, filler and sandable. All right, this is ready. Remember, light coats. So what I'm gonna be spraying it with is this Rust-Oleum wheel edition of this Rust-Oleum paint. It's metallic steel and it says fade resistant, no peel promise, adhesion guaranteed. So what I wanted to do is put on a nice good metallic color that's close to what was already on the wheel. This seems to be close enough and it's very metallic-y. And apart from spraying this on my wheels, I'm also gonna put my famous tinted black clear coat on it just to give it that real cool effect that I like. And that's gonna finish these wheels off, guys. So let's get started. I hope this gives me enough paint. Very metallic-y, sparkly. Ooh, that's metallic-y, wow. All right, guys, I'm gonna put the final coat, and this is a really metallic color. So when you have a really coarse metallic color, you wanna put like a drop coat is called, where you evenly lay out the metallics just to make sure you don't have no blotchiness or blotchy spots in the paint. So just make sure to give it a nice drop coat. All right, I'm getting ready to clear coat. And last but not least, my famous tinted black clear coat on top, just to create a cool effect on that metallic. If you guys haven't seen my video where I painted my tail lights and I tinted my clear coat, a tinted black clear coat, it looks like a faded clear coat. It kind of looks like a transparent clear coat with a little bit of black in it. It looks like a tinted clear coat basically with a little bit of black. I'll leave that video in the link below and at the end of this video so you guys to check it out. Well, guys, that's it. Check it out. That is what it looks like with the tinted black clear coat. So this is the silver Rust-Oleum with the tinted black clear coat. That's what it looks like. Here you go. Check it out. So please, if you guys like this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye.